The Last Polaroid. I've always loved old cameras. There's something about holding a photograph in your hands that feels more honest than looking at one on a screen. Digital pictures can be edited. They can lie. But a Polaroid captures one moment exactly as it happened, or at least that's what I believed. I found the camera at a flea market just outside town. The old man selling it only wanted $20 for the whole box, camera, film, leather carrying case, everything. Before I paid, he looked at me for a long moment and asked one strange question. "Do you develop them all?" I laughed and said, "Of course." He nodded like I'd just made a mistake. The first few pictures were perfect. The old oak tree in my backyard. My coffee steaming on the porch. My dog asleep on the living room rug. Colors were warm, almost nostalgic, like the camera remembered happier days than I did. Then I noticed something. In the fourth picture, there was someone standing near the edge of my property. A man. He was so far away that I couldn't make out his face. Just a dark outline between the trees. I walked outside immediately. There was nobody there. I convinced myself it had been a trick of the light. A double exposure. Old film does strange things. The next morning, I took another picture. This time the man had moved. He was standing just inside my fence. Closer. Till too blurry to recognize. Till impossible to explain. I searched the yard again. Nothing. Every day after that, I took another photograph. I told myself I was documenting a camera defect. Deep down, I knew I was checking to see if he'd moved. He always had. Behind the shed. Standing beneath the porch light. Watching through my kitchen window. Each picture brought him closer, but never close enough for me to see his face. I stopped sleeping. I stopped inviting people over. I even called the flea market hoping to find the old man again. The vendor in the next booth looked confused. "There hasn't been an old man selling cameras here in years," she said. "The last one died during the winter market." I stopped taking pictures after that. 3 weeks passed. No photographs. No strange figures. I almost convinced myself it had all been stress. Then yesterday I found one unused pack of film inside the carrying case. Just one. I told myself this would be the last picture. I set the camera on the coffee table, pointed it toward the couch, and smiled. The familiar mechanical click echoed through the room. The photograph slowly slid out. I watched the image appear. First the couch. Then the lamp. Then me sitting exactly where I remembered. Relief washed over me. Until the picture finished developing. The man wasn't standing behind me anymore. He was standing where the camera had been. One hand still resting on the shutter button. His face was finally clear. He had my eyes. My smile. My wedding ring. He looked exactly like me. Except older. Much older. Across the bottom of the photograph, words began appearing that hadn't been there before. Not printed. Written. In fresh black ink. "Your turn to stand behind the camera." I dropped the picture and stumbled backward. The room was empty. Camera still sat on the table exactly where I'd left it. I told myself it wasn't real. That I was imagining everything. Then another Polaroid slid out of the camera. Nobody had touched it. My hands were shaking as I picked it up. Picture was still developing. This time, it showed me, standing behind someone else's chair, waiting for them to turn around.